hold on, hold on, hold on. Well, I can't pause it. I can't pause it? Alright. What do you mean diversity?
So, in Elden Ring, right? When you think about it, so the way your character moves in Elden Ring versus the way it moves in Black Myth Wukong. Granted,
Mm-hmm.
two completely different games. Granted,
Mm-hmm.
built in two different mythologies, right? So, Black Myth Wukong, martial arts, a lot of vertical movement, jumping, dodging, after image the whole time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then of course you got your staff that you can block and stuff like that. However, Elden Ring is pretty much you have your shield, you have your roll, and defensive spells. That's it. So you
No,
either
that's not
have
true.
to.
Because in Elden Ring, you could pick a weapon like this, like a staff, and then you can start doing things that Wukong could do. I'm pretty sure people are gonna make videos of them playing like Wukong.
Are you talking about with the new expansion?
No, not just that. There's different weapons in Elden Ring that your character moves and plays differently. Like there's like if I use a dual wield like this, like a staff, I can play and then jump and do flips like this. And then when I'm doing flips, I can also do dashes and teleports. And there, and Elden, yes, in Elden Ring.
What staff is there in Elden Ring that you
There's,
flip? So granted, I know there's a dual wield blade where it's like one staff, and the staff move like the bloody one that you do flips and tricks, but that's part of the actual weapon. So it's like you can do that. You can do that with the weapon itself, but it's not like you can do that intrinsically without that weapon. Black Myth.
that's what I'm saying. With Elden Ring, depending on what weapon you use, your playstyle changes. So you have more diversity in Elden Ring than in this game.
What my thing is, what you can do naturally with Black Myth, you can't do naturally in Elden Ring. Like because I was Blood Sword, where it has the 5-hit combo and whatnot. Gives you a lot of range in Bloodborne, so you don't have to get in close. Right. However, what I'm saying is, baseline, you got your dodges, your defensive spells, and your shield. Now, with your weapon, it may give you just a little bit more mobility, but granted, like you have the shadow step. You have a shadow step, but your middles are like what's called. You're using you have to have a certain weapon on for that. Versus with Black Myth Wukong, from what I'm seeing, you're using primarily your staff.
Yeah. So imagine I didn't have the staff. I wouldn't be jumping and flipping.
Okay, but I'm saying it's built into the lore. You can't say imagine if I didn't have the staff because that's part of his lore.
I don't understand what you're saying because you're saying that this has more diversity.
As a character in the way that Black Myth Wukong plays, he has a lot of abilities that's access to him without having to change. You unlock your abilities and you already have them. Elden Ring, you have a lot of weapons, but baseline when you're fighting, you're either pretty much timing your dodges with your bosses. You gotta time dodges. The main thing you have to time dodge with the tuck and roll. Outside of that, you can build a defensive build with your shield, or you have the Bloodhound step. The Bloodhound step. Those are like your main defensive. Bloodhound step is the main defensive move that gets you away in the focus. There are certain weapon skills that, yes, you're able to use them to dodge Wukong, you can just do because it's built into who that character is. Is what I'm saying. Elden Ring, you can make your character what you want, but the way of going about it is more. It's free, but it's more restricting in the sense of, well, you can go this way, but you gotta specialize in that way. You sound says me, you don't understand.
No, I understand what you're saying. I don't think you understand that you're saying the opposite of what you were saying. Elden Ring is more diverse. Like even though you explained it that way, Elden Ring is more diverse. This game is
So
not. You're basically saying this game is not diverse.
I'm not. You do that thing. You
I'm
do
not.
that thing where
What thing I'm
yes,
doing?
because you always focus on one thing of what a person says instead of trying to look at what they're trying to say. So, okay, maybe not diverse is the best word because you focus on one word. You do this all the time. You focus on one part instead of looking at everything. Well, you said that that color was maroon instead of coral or red. So because you said it was maroon, everything is invalid.
All right,
It's
I
like
could use
no.
a better example of what I do. You
So
say
so
no, no,
so
no.
wait.
Let me
Let me
let
finish.
me explain exactly what you're trying to explain. What I do. You be like Marvel and DC. No, you say Spider Man only wears red and blue in his whole life, and I would say that's not true. He's wore more colors than that. Then after you say how, and I will show you that he wears black and yellow, black and green, red and white. Then you'll be like, why
So
did I focus on him saying red and
so
blue? I'm like, because that's the argument that you was talking about. That's what you said.
with but this is the thing. Context clues. You have no context clue skills, minimal whatsoever. Because I could say Spider-Man wears red and blue for the majority of his career. However, going forward in his other I can't say that word. In his other storylines or based on what he's
Hmm.
doing, he's had red and blue, red and black, black and yellow. But you'll go back and say, well, no, you only said red and blue. But I'm like,
No,
keep.
there's a difference when this.
I
No,
expanded on
you
what I
change
said.
up during the conversation. That's what you
But
do.
again,
You would say, no, 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 no. There's key
but
words that you would say. You would say something like, he only wears red and blue. Once you say only, that's it. You said
no,
only.
but again, my thing is, if I said, well, he only wears black and blue, but or continuing on with these other things, I'll add in, and you're like, well, no, it's not because you only said only. It's like, no, look at the entirety of what's
That don't
being
make sense.
said. Yes, it does. Because the thing is, a conversation or someone's opinion or their viewpoint on something can expand based on what they're saying. So you focused on just the one thing, you'd be like, oh, well, he did say only, but also he added in or they added in this and third, so I can see what they're trying to say. You don't see what they're trying to say. You see the fact that instead of it saying, my hero Ultra Rumble, at the point at the start of the conversation, I said my zero Ultra Rumble with heroes. Well, you said my zero Ultra Rumble, so it's not.
Yo,
It's
Trav,
not
you don't see the real issue.
key.
You don't see the real
Go.
issue. If I
Let.
record the conversation, look at start to pay attention on how the conversation goes. If I'm gonna use Spider Man still, if you say Spider Man only wears red and blue, he doesn't wear other colors, and then I didn't say that's not true, and then after you say that, then you're like, well, he wore red and white. I'm like, all right, so we on the same page. And you're like, but he only wears red and blue. I'm like, that's after the fact that I said what I said. Then
But
you
again,
change it after
so
the fact. It's not like you started saying he only wear red and blue, but you don't never say but after that. So that's a different argument.
but you
With
want you
this situation, you were saying that that Wukong is more diverse than Elden Ring, and then I asked you how. Then you start
but
to
again,
explain it,
here
and then you basically explain that Wukong ain't more diverse than Elden Ring. Elden Ring is more diverse, and then you start to change up
so
what you were saying.
but this is the thing. When a person's trying to explain a thought process,
Hmm.
it's not a debate. You treat everything as a debate every single time, and it's like, no, it's not a debate. It's somebody explaining, okay, this is how I think in reference to this is what I see the games at. No, you're wrong. because you
Of those used skills for it.
It's not meant to be right or wrong. Someone's explaining their viewpoint, Keyshawn.
All right, can I ask you a
So,
question? If somebody says there's only two Super Saiyans in Dragon Ball Z, right? And then I go, no, that's not. It's not only